There are voices from experts across multiple platforms today, spreading messages that insinuate my home, my beloved Fletcher House, is outdated. And as the caretaker of this residence, I personally have made some bad choices as I continue to design and decorate our living spaces. The question becomes inevitable. What is wrong with this house? Allow me to provide just a few glaring examples based on the commentary from these experts. Gray walls. That's probably my worst offense, and I own up to it. Loud and proud, I have painted my walls gray. There is not one, but 3 various gray hues gracing our rooms. Filtered shade, rocky bluffs, ocean storm. This, my friends, is my Fletcher gray trio. I also have blue walls in certain areas. I recently painted the pantry and smoke infusion, for example, and my home office is home to beguiling blue. Overwhelmingly, though, my interior walls are gray. There is no denying it. I'm not sure if you realize this, but gray is out. Gray is cold, it's harsh, and it's been deemed as unwelcoming. And while this call to de-gray is a top message for 2024 home trends, there are other disgraces at Fletcher House I should probably acknowledge. Recessed lights, manufactured countertops, fast furniture, mason jars, heavy drapery, word wall art, pine wood or pine wood finishings, wood cabinetry, too many vintage things or antiques, too little vintage things or antiques, coordinating furniture sets, tacky sentimentality. I tell you, I could continue to ramble. The lists are that long, depending on which expert you follow. It has been a rainy and overcast week here in West Tennessee. It was during one of our stormy evenings that I walked through our home and took a serious inspection of our main living and entertaining spaces. I asked myself if it was genuinely time for me to consider changing some of my design decisions to better align with these messages content creators, design experts, style managers, and even tastemakers are continuing to communicate. Truly, is there something wrong with this house? What is wrong with this house? Nothing. That was my gut response with each step Ollie and I took together. Because yes, Oliver, my dog, is oftentimes my little shadow in these episodes as well as in everyday life. I hope you don't mind me sharing a little personal information about myself. I promise it will all make sense soon. There was a time in my life in 2019 when it was determined that I did not have enough blood in my body to continue functioning. It was quite the ordeal, and I still remember the day that all of this came to light. There ultimately was an 18-hour, long, extensive blood transfusion process that was conducted to save me. And all of this chaos would confirm a large tumor was to blame. And as many of my friends and family well know, an unexpected journey toward major surgery would begin for me. Now, spoiler alert, I survived. And the operation, though risky, was successful. I live. Yes, thankfully I live. But I live knowing that my body will never be the same. I have a few less organs, which ultimately mean I am permanently sterile. I will never be able to have children of my own. Now, when all of these vital health-related things were coming about, I was in my 30s, I was single, and I had been without prospects for quite some time. I shared this snapshot not to grab some potential spotlight, but to provide some context. Because it was that girl, the one who was convinced a romantic life would not be possible post-surgery, that started dating a wonderful man just 3 months after her operation date. That man stuck around as I continued to heal and recover, and he ultimately became my husband. The husband who purchased a house for us in late 2020. It was this house, Fletcher House, where we would be married that spring in 2021, and where we would be bringing home our precious Oliver that following summer. So when I recently took stock of the interiors of this precious house, I could not, in good faith, categorize any of it as wrong. Quite the contrary, I see a lot of right here and a lot of good here. This is the house of my heart. I know that sounds cheesy, but this is the home of my dreams. This house is a representation of me, Brad, and our marriage. It represents our sweet Oliver, our family, our friends, our memories, and our future. All of the things that someone somewhere claims are harsh, dated, and unwelcoming. Well, they serve as the backdrop to our lives. And quite literally, proof is in many of the photographs that we have displayed throughout our rooms. In my incredibly biased opinion, here is the message that I think is timely and relevant. I belong to a happier camp that believes home, inside and out, should reflect the people who inhabit it. And when it comes to cultivating a welcoming environment to share with family and friends, well, I am convinced that that has more and more to do with the people who own or take care of the house, and not necessarily the material items within the house. I hate to disappoint any of these so-called experts, but I have zero plans to cover my gray walls, replace my recessed lights, or edit any of the things that are on someone's list. As we draw to a close, I pray this episode encourages you to enjoy and to celebrate your home for all that it is. I hope the interiors of Fletcher House may inspire you, but I never want them to cause you to feel negative about your own interiors. If you enjoyed this video, or if you were reminded of a friend, perhaps, who is battling with these home trends messaging that I mentioned, consider liking this video and sharing our channel. This is what we do here at Fletcher House and Garden. We celebrate home. We love our homes. And until the next episode, take care.